Rennert and Sherwood were his team, in their cheap suits, 3-day shirts, and stained ties, keeping him straight on the city. The organized crime, bent cops and politicians, the mop bars, queer bars, hash joints, cat houses. They smoked full-time, traded girls like baseball cards, wore their hats tipped back, had a bad word to say about everyone. Told stories even they didn't believe.
Right, Walker. Let's take you around town. You know, buddy, it's not like in the movies.
Sherwood was eyeing him steady in the rearview mirror. What?
This city. It's like someone shook the map of America, and all the crap that wasn't bolted down ended up here, in Los Angeles. I don't know if it's 3 years, 5 years, 10, but I'm telling you, friend, this city's getting ready to blow.
Late September. Fire season. That hot, dry wind that gets people edgy, listless, ready to fight but too tired to try. Temperatures swinging, and this yellow light from the north, from the smoke of the wildfires burning, up in the tops of the canyons. You can see them at night, like necklaces, tightening. He pushed through to the bar, make it a beer. In this heat, the Golden Gopher was a small steam bath inside a bigger one. The guy next to him was staring, blankly, riddling his ear with a pipe cleaner. He'd had some kind of a stroke, and his face dragged down on one side, like it had missed a button. He said, "Mighty hot," to no one in particular, then ducked to sip through the straw in his bottle of Star. Lifting his head carefully, he looked around, tongue flitting out like a lizard's, tasting the new air.
Santa Ana's coming. The fire wind.
Walking faster, nearly dancing now through the battlefield. With a clip of money and a book of matches, he was looking for fun or looking for trouble. Gasoline and a body double. A decent drink and a girl maybe. Just looking to get lost. Like how that Chinese place, the Pacific Shell, on Main and First, had lost the neon for its S and now was a gateway to his world. And next door to it, a bar lousy enough for him. And he watched as the cops went in, pulled out a drunk, smacked him around, and only then, when the heat took off, only then could he cross the street, push open the door on the mess he needed. It was all smeared grins, spilled drinks, and sliding eyes. Then sudden standoffs.
Wise guy, huh? Got something to say about it, huh?
There's a man stretched out in his own puddle. 2 others wrestling by the pool table, so drunk they barely move. They drove a gray Studebaker, and he sat in back watching the city open up outside, listening to them talk.
So, how's that new gal of yours?
Oh, man. I can get one on just thinking about her. Tall, pretty, great figure. I mean, really stacked.
You seen her tonight?
Nah. Rennert looked out the window.
Why not?
You know, he shrugged.
Huh? You find yourself a real honey and you don't take her out?
It's just that
Just what?
Well, I got a little tight last night.
And?
Some 2-bit punk was hitting on her and she didn't seem to mind, like she was putting out, you know?
So, what did you do?
Slugged him.
What did she do?
Chewed me out, then ditched me. Gave me the air.
Way to go, buddy. Way to go.
The map of the city unfolded as they drove. City Hall, from up top of Bunker Hill, hotels, stores, gas stations, churches, banks, and gyms, each street corner in every part of town. This entire city was either being built up or pulled down. They'd already started leveling ground where the Harbor Parkway would cut right through, 3 blocks away from where he lived, high up on the hill near Angel's Flight. They stopped off at the site one day, among bulldozers and backhoes, cement trucks and cranes, to get some shots at the progress. But the pile drivers, the hammer drills, the blasting from the building site, the noise of it, the noise of the guns, the heavy machine gun fire, and nowhere to hide, and they were getting closer all the time, and the flares were burning, and the noise was so loud, and all the shouting, and the guns were going, and now their 88s had found us. They'd found us out and were pounding our positions, pinning us down, pinning us, so many of us down. He had his hands over his ears for 20 minutes, even in the car, and they took it easy, driving round, before stopping at a bar on 2nd and Spring, near the press, for a drink.
You okay, buddy?
Sherwood slid him a shot of whiskey, shaking out a smoke. Yeah, thanks.
You were in the war, right? I've seen this happen before. Guys getting triggered off by something. Crowds, sudden noise.
I'll be fine.
Yes, my friend. You better be. If you want the job, that is.
By the pinball machine, down the side of a door, he saw a pile of emptied wallets and purses, business cards, old railroad tickets, photographs, and he noticed a girl over by the jukebox, dancing on her hind legs, tipping her toes like a cat at the end of a rope. Behind the counter, there was something under a beer crate, turning it in hard, heavy circles, moving it slowly across the floor. He saw Tommy Davidson's corpse with emptied pockets, a rifled wallet, and a scatter of photographs. As we drove around, I thought about home, on the island, Nova Scotia. Father just looking at me. You're the first of us to leave in 170 years. The day I went to war, Mother didn't know what to say, so she handed me a scarf. Like deer, you'll never see me, I remember thinking. Just a glimpse, perhaps, on the way to being gone. A prowl car slewed into the corner of 4th in Los Angeles, revolving lights like some carousel and 2 cops running, yelling, "Stop, police," at this guy who's already through 3rd and halfway down the block to St. Vibiana's. He pulls up, steps away from the dark, spreading his hands, taking the shape of a standing star. He might have been shouting, but he was too far off to make any sense. Then suddenly, he reaches for his top pocket and seems to pull out a red handkerchief, steps backward, faltering, then rips another one right out of his face. It was only then that Walker heard them, the sound of the shots. On to Alameda and Chinatown, till he found the path that climbed to the Stone Quarry Hills, up through fields and houses of the New Pueblo, to the high ravines. And he stood there, far over City Hall, over the lights of Los Angeles, as if the whole sky and all the stars had fallen. Displayed, spread out below in a flickering maze, this bed of moving embers.